bodega, the residents will be able to access it from the inside using their room key. But the rest of the community, we will access it from the outside.
Yep. There's going to be parking that's going to be right there. You'll just park your car, walk down a little sidewalk. Be a nice big entrance right there. Be open to the community. Anyone who wants to shop there can shop there. So they're building out that space right now. The apartments will open and have people moving in September, and they think the grocery box will open in November. Is knock on wood. That's what we hope time means. Other things that folks were asking for, some kind of co-working space or some sort of tech-enabled space would be great. Again, banking, financial services, there's just not a lot up here. Something for seniors to do. I thought Transit Bike Hub was kind of interesting. What we really just showed is a nice bus stop with a really good covered bike rack situation. That's something that we probably could deliver for folks. Childcare after school programs, I thought might be a little higher. We actually, according to folks I've talked to, this area actually has a decent number of seats. We're not saying perfect, but a decent number of childcare seats in the 74106 zip code. It could be better. We could have more. But I kind of think that this might be a reflection of we'd like more choice, but we actually have some options available to us. Either members of the community who are working in their home childcare situation, or Educare, or other places across the street. So yeah, so that's kind of in general what we saw for people saying what they would like to see come up on that corner. Northside Neighbors, who we work very closely with, that nonprofit, we're in the same building as them. We office together. They own that corner. They own the site where that gas station is, and they also own the opposite corner where there used to be a gas station that's been torn down. So we're going to use this information not only to inform the corner right there where the blue gas station is, but we're also going to look at that for the other corner as well. We can't fit everything on one site, so we're going to use that for other sites. And then I'm kind of going in reverse. Oh, I forgot that we had one more. I'm sorry. What would make people come and visit this area more frequently? It really comes down to activities, festivals and weekend markets, sports and fitness activities, like we kind of saw that with Activate Oklahoma, food trucks, pop-ups. I thought workshops and learning were great. I think there are workshops and things that happen. We just got to do a better job of getting that out there. So, museums, cultural attractions, etc. So, we're going to use this information to help decide how we structure buildings that are going to get built back on that site. And then I'm kind of going in reverse order. The week before we did this event where we asked what types of businesses, we actually asked folks specific to restaurants, what would you like to see? What type of food do you like? So if we're going to recruit a restaurant here, what would you like if you could pick what you wanted? And then we also asked them how often do you go out for food at a restaurant, to get coffee, to get ice cream. Just so we have an understanding when we're talking to restaurants, we can just kind of demonstrate to them we have an understanding of what our market is looking at. So I'm only going to go over the top 10 of the cuisines that won. But as far as types of restaurants, fish, chicken, wings, there's a pretty decent separation from first to second. But then Mexican and then breakfast or diner was a very strong second and a little bit of separation from pizza and burgers. I was actually a little surprised about Mexican. I thought it would be probably in the top 5 usually, that's the case. But I was surprised it actually came in second. So that was just kind of surprising to me, maybe not to anyone else. And then other in the top 10, soul food, Chinese and Asian. Folks who picked that always made a mention when they put their dot on, like, this is my favorite kind of food. They always had to say that when they picked that one, as opposed to the other ones. So they like Chinese food. They really like Chinese food. A bakery, an ice cream shop, and barbecue kind of rounded out the top 10. So again, we're going to look through this, and I'm even going to back up one. We're going to look at this, and so we'll go out and talk to folks who might operate this type of restaurant. We might talk to folks who operate Mexican restaurants. Are you happy with your lease? Do you like where you are? If you're happy, are you looking to open a second location? Do you have somebody on your staff who is wanting to open their own restaurant? And maybe we can be the spot for that. So this gives us a guide about the conversations we need to be having. And I would love for the very first thing that opens on that corner is a restaurant that serves fish, chicken, and wings. But if we have a breakfast diner who is ready to sign a lease, we'll probably do that because we can deliver something the community wants immediately and keep working on the rest. So, but
They can have fish, chicken, and wings on the menu.
they certainly can. I hope so. I certainly.
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and
Thinking the
waffles.
same thing.
Oh man, see now, Linda, that's why I'm glad you came. Now you're making me hungry too. So we appreciated that feedback. And we also just, I thought this was just generally interesting. I'll run through it really quickly. How often people go out to eat at a restaurant? Well, I thought it was interesting. Like all the time, we're going out all the time, or yeah, once or twice a week we're going out. 56% of the people who answered that question go out at least once a week or more. If you look at that, we go out at least 1 or 2 times a week or more. 56% of folks. And then when you get all the way down to at least 1 or 2 times a month or more, that's 90%. So I think that we can just say this isn't the most scientific poll ever done, but we had people that came out to a big festival. They took their time, they answered. We had folks from the community itself, young and old, answered this, and it seems like these are folks that go out. So it's kind of nice information to have. Ice cream was really popular. People did say though that I go more in the summer. I think that makes some sense. I'm a big coffee drinker. I love coffee. This one was kind of funny to me. People either go out and get it all the time, or they never get it. People said, "Oh, I don't drink coffee, never." Or people like, "Yeah, I need my coffee. I need it real bad." So this was the one that was the most polarizing. It's like the people who want it are going to go all the time, or if they don't, they don't. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then just for drinks or a night out, folks do, but I think we had a little bit more of a family crowd at this event. So it's like, I go out, maybe I'll have a beer or two or something, but it wasn't like wasn't like a party crowd, it seemed like. So, but that also indicates to me that perhaps a restaurant that might have a menu, of options for adult beverages might be something that would be appreciated, at least occasionally. So, good information, and what we're going to do, this is the finished mural that Chris Skur did, the Dream mural. What we're going to do is, again, use this information as we are working with architects and trying to plan for what can come back on that site. How big should it be? Is it going to be one space or multiple spaces? What can we reasonably put on the site? There may be a floor of apartments above, there may not. We're looking through all kinds of different things, but we understand now very clearly what the community would like to see happen on that site and across the way. And we know the types of businesses we should talk to, and specifically when we get to restaurants, the type of cuisine we can talk to. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start planning. We're going to talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that work in those spaces and figure out who's interested, who wants to come here, and try to make it happen as quickly as we can.
This is supposed to be a breakfast place that's opening up right down the street. A breakfast place right down the street.
Really?
What color is the building?
Right across from Jack's.
Oh, yeah. You talking about the gray building?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought he had told me that it was going to be like hamburgers.
Oh.
Hamburgers, fish.
Oh yeah, Miss Tootie's. Yeah, Miss Tootie's. Well, and that's what it's Mr. Frazier.
Yeah.
And he has his kitchen built out and he's ready to go. He just had a health problem.
Right.
Yeah. So.
From last time we spoke to him, it was supposed to have been open from what he was saying.
Yeah. He had a little heart
That's
issue.
okay. I wonder what was the hold up.
He had a little heart problem, but he's going to serve fish,
Right, that's what he
chicken, and burgers.
said.
So he's going to be very welcomed in the neighborhood.
I heard it was good stuff too.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to catch him in the kitchen cooking.
I haven't either, but I heard.
Yeah, so hopefully Mr. Frazier will get feeling well and he can get it open, because he did let me inside and show me the spot. He's got tables and chairs. They're not set up yet, but he's got tables and chairs. He's got his kitchen built out. He's got his equipment in there. He's probably like 2 weeks away from ready to open. He just got to get his heart right so he can open and work. So any questions about that at all, about the information that we got from the community? Just any general thoughts or comments about that? Again, it's real important to us that we know and understand what the community wants so that we can try to deliver what people are asking for as much as possible. But any thoughts on that?
Do we know, I mean, I was there for the event on the corner. Do we know whether or not the people who came are people who are within the Phoenix area?
You know, anecdotally, we sort of do. I mean, and they came from mostly the Hawthorne and Whitman area, but also a little further afield. I mean, we had folks that came from Chamberlain, from Dunbar, kind of known to, you know, folks that are generally known to us. So I would probably say that 90 to 95% of the people came from a 3-mile radius of the corner. Not just a 1 mile, but probably a 3 mile. That's anecdotal. That's, you know, we had about, including families, kids, and all that, we had about close to 70 people come. You know, sometimes that'd be a family of 5, but most folks seem to be kind of known by people in the area that kind of have a connection to the neighborhood, or they know, oh yeah, you live over here. We know kind of where you are. So they were North Side residents for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, plus.
So if someone's interested in starting a business at either one of those places, what do? Call you and set up an appointment with you?
That would be great. Yeah, I mean, if you happen to know of anybody who is an entrepreneur that's trying to get something started, we'd love to talk to them. Absolutely.
What's your number?
I'll give you my card, but my number is 918. This is being live streamed. This is being live streamed on the Channel 8 website. I'm gonna hand you my card. Hi folks on Channel 8. You don't need to be calling me at 2 o'clock. But yes, please have them call me. And we also partner with folks that do a lot of entrepreneurship training. There's folks that do that work as well. So if they need a little help, if they need financing, if they need things like that, we are connected to people. So, but yeah, they're welcome to reach out to me, and we'll get them on the path to getting a spot.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a question.
Please.
One of the things that I noticed in terms of your percentages and numbers, I thought in general that was really good. But my question is, even with you having one person or a group of 8 that's eating every day of the week, and then the next group, which is large group, is eating only 1 or 2 times a week,
Yeah.
that's not going to be enough to maintain a restaurant. So what is you actively looking at that would help that restaurant to be able to survive within the climate?
Yeah. The shortest answer I can give, and I could give you a very long answer to that question actually, but the work that we do and the work that I've done with other commercial districts in the past, part of that is ensuring that that business has a favorable lease, and we're very confident of that because Northside Neighbors owns the lot we'll be developing, so we are certain that we can provide a lease that is going to be favorable to give that business every opportunity to ramp up and get going, and probably even below market rate lease rates to start with. And then kind of our promotional engine that we work on to constantly promote the business. We're really a supplement to how they market themselves. And, in addition to just day-to-day marketing of the district and individual businesses, we often will hold events in the future when our business community is a little thicker, so to speak, on the street, have events and promotions to bring people down on a very regular basis with those weekend markets, with those festivals, with those things, in a way that's designed to spill into the businesses. So we are constantly looking at that, about how we're going to be able to generate that positive foot traffic. But also, phase 1 of the apartments is opening. That's 100 units. Within 5 years, there's going to be over 2,200 residents probably living. There's going to be in the area 200 new single-family homes and 545 units of apartments, mixed income, market rate to affordable, and everything in between. So we feel pretty confident that the market here is only going to grow as far as the rooftops, and the demand for services is only going to grow. So if we can bring those people along and make sure that that path is as smooth as possible, so that they're meeting that demand as it continues to grow, I think that we can be successful.
Yeah, a restaurant. Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say the reason why I brought that up is because we were looking at data, because we were looking at the tracks of the areas that we're looking at, and the growth between 2020 and 5 years back, or from 23 to 23, was no more than like 200 people.
Yeah.
And in some areas, they completely lost people altogether.
Yeah.
The one thing that did go up though was the income and the cost, and the poverty level that was there. So
I'm probably going to defer to people smarter than me in the housing industry here, but the idea of bringing in mixed income housing, I've seen that work in the Kendall Whittier neighborhood, and we're seeing it work in Eugene Field on the west side. I have a lot of faith that this model is going to deliver more rooftops and an overall median income socioeconomic that's also going to rise, but not in a way that excludes folks. We're trying to thread that middle so that everyone can participate in the rebirth of the area, but we do need more rooftops to support these businesses that we want. So,
well, a restaurant will definitely make it with everything that's going up and being built.
yeah,
It'll definitely survive.
we actually I worked on a strategic plan, and we worked with a national retail strategist who he's a black entrepreneur himself, and he specifically does retail studies for communities of color and specifically communities that have experienced disinvestment. It's kind of his market niche. Bobby Boone, he wakes up smarter than I will ever be. He said, lead with food and beverage.
Right.
That is going to be your draw. That's probably going to that's going to create your foot traffic. It's going to help you plant a flag and
Right.
bring people in, and then you can fill in services around it.
That's
So
right.
I'm going to listen to the smart folks who tell me what to do.
The
So,
best way to go.
yeah. Okay.
you answered. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. If there are any other questions, I'm happy to take it, but I also want to make sure that we have plenty of opportunity for our guests this evening to speak to everybody. So if there's not any other further questions, okay, thank you. Then we're really proud and pleased to have City Councilor Vanessa Hall-Harper here with us today. I'm going to turn over the floor to you, and we go until about 7:30, and you can use as much of that as you want.
Don't plan to.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be more about your questions. You need somebody to help you pass those out. Sure.
Yeah,
It's two pages, so.
2 pages.
Vanessa.
Okay.
So it's the letter and then the statement.
Gotcha.
He already has one.
He has one, all right.
He was in a previous meeting. So good afternoon. Thank you, Tracy, for the opportunity to come and present here at your meeting. And so this is not something that I'm pleased about having to share, but it is something that I feel I have to share, given what is going on in our community. And so some of you may be familiar with this. Who was familiar with the Kirkpatrick Heights master plan? I know some may have turned out for that master planning process that we conducted several years ago. And so Partner Tulsa is the organization that facilitated, was responsible for facilitating it. Partner Tulsa, has anybody heard that name at least?
Yeah.
They are the nonprofit organization that the city of Tulsa contracts with to host or to conduct our economic development.
for the city of Tulsa. Okay, so they are the staff support for TDA, Tulsa Development Authority. Are you familiar with Tulsa Development Authority? Yes. Okay. They are the Urban Renewal Authority for the city of Tulsa. And they're still the Urban Renewal. They just changed their name a few years back to get away from the reputation of what Urban Renewal Authorities have done to black communities throughout the nation. And so they are still the Urban Renewal Authority. You may recall in 2016 and 2017 when I had issues with TDA and actually sued them because they continued to sell land to build dollar stores in our community when I was trying to work on a grocery store. And dollar stores do this all over the community, all over the country in black and brown and poor communities. They proliferate, and then grocery stores can't come and survive. And so there was some push and pull in that effort because I was saying no more dollar stores. You can look down the street and see dollar stores in walking distance of others. But what we needed was a grocery store. So as a result of that, the Healthy Neighborhoods Overlay was a policy code that we put into place in our comprehensive zoning plan that said no more dollar stores in these areas, and then we worked on getting funds that ultimately led to the development of Oasis. Same organization. And so right now, as a result of the master plan let me start here. OSU Tulsa, UCAT. Anybody remember UCAT? Mm-hmm. University Center at Tulsa, right? All the universities there. Eventually, as time went on, they all left. And now we have OSU Tulsa and Langston located there. Well, they had ownership of all of that land down there where we park when we have the MLK parade and all of that vacant land. We call them the stairs to nowhere, all that land. So it's 56 acres that after the agreement between TDA, the Tulsa Development Authority, and UCAT expired, the TDA went back and got that land back because they didn't develop it. Remember they told us they were going to do dorms and all kind of things down there in the development. Those things obviously never came to fruition. And so when that agreement, that 25-year agreement lapsed, TDA recovered that land. And so that's why the master plan for Kirkpatrick Heights, Greenwood Kirkpatrick Heights came about. And so back in 2017, 2018, I started working with Ashley Phillipson, who at that time was working for GT Bynum's administration on what we were going to do as a community, what we wanted to see in that area. And so much like what you all are doing here, for this small area plan, we conducted a community-wide master planning process for that. Greg Robinson and Stan Pike Hills, he's facilitated that, you may recall. And in the packet, he has a letter there. So I'm just trying to give you some context of where we are. As a result of that, the next stage or step was, how are we going to implement that master plan? The master plan is on the TDA website. If you want to search Kirkpatrick Heights master plan, it'll pop up. It's a PDF, and it was a wonderful process. Again, Greg Robinson facilitated that. Really got good community engagement, and it is a solid plan of what we want to see. What we want to see is what everybody else wants to see in the community, right? But we do have a master plan. The City of Tulsa, City Council, have voted to accept that plan. So that's where we are on that. The next step was to decide what organization or how was it going to be implemented, the master plan. And so there was another community convening of several leaders that participated. I think you participated in some of those meetings, didn't you, Linda? Oh. Yes. And so there was another community-wide conversation about that. Some of us went. I went to Boston personally. There were some other people on that committee, went around the whole country to look at other options, right, of what kind of tools we can implement. A CDC, Community Development Corporation, or a trust, those type of institutions whose job it is to facilitate economic development in a community. So it was decided that a CDC would be created. And they named it the Greenwood Legacy CDC. Again, Partner Tulsa is the entity that's facilitating. They're in the background of all of this work. And so I'll just be honest with you, from day one, I've had issues from time to time, right? But for the most part, I've swallowed what my issues were because I was always looking to the future of what this ultimately can become. And it wasn't until about 2 months ago that I finally had to say no more. Because the CDC was stood up. There was an advisory committee that was selected to do the background work of standing up an organization, bylaws, articles of incorporation, all of those types of things that you have to do when you form an entity. And through that, I won't even say through that process, after the organization was stood up, it was time to select the board. And I will say that from day one, the very first thing I said when we first started ideating about what this would look like, I said it's not going to matter what institution or tool we use if the community does not select who's going to sit in leadership on that board. That's community ownership. I said, and what I would like to see is anyone interested in serving on that board, they can submit their resume, a statement of why they want to serve on that, and literally we have a mock election at Rudisill Library like we do for our city council elections, and people go in and select the leaders based on their expertise, based on their reputation, based on their legitimacy in the community of who's going to sit on the board. I also asked that at least one of those seats go to the elected official for the district, whoever that is, because these are entities that exist for years, 50, 60, 70 years after we're long gone, right? And so, but the voice that has been elected every 2 years in this community to represent and be the voice of the community should have one of those 9 seats, or 11 seats, however many people they choose to put on the board. So, Partner Tulsa decided behind closed doors that no, the elected official can't have a seat on the board. And secondly, they seated 5 people on the board without any knowledge of the community or input from the community. And so at that point, I said, no, if you all don't change that and make it right, I'm going to have to now do what I'm doing now and inform my community of what's going on and say, no, this Partner Tulsa is not operating with trust and legitimacy in our community. And I have said, as I've said it in my letter, and the packet with the envelope, with the staple, consists of 4 letters. The first letter is my letter. And when Partner Tulsa finally had a meeting, I asked them for over 9 months to have a meeting to reconvene the group of people who facilitated and participated for 2.5 years in not only the master planning process, but also the process in deciding what tool we want to use in order to stand up and develop our community. They never wanted to reconvene those people, because when we broke, everybody was like, I would like to be notified when it's time to sit on the board. I would like to apply. They never did that. They never did that. Even though I was asking and kicking and screaming, again, behind closed doors, you all didn't see all of this going on. But I got the emails and the text messages to prove it. But they seated 5 people of a 9-member board. What do you think about that? 5 of 9. I sit on the city council, there's 9 of us. There's 9 districts in the city of Tulsa. If I'm working on passing something, I stop counting at 5. Why? Because I don't need the other 4. So they seated 5 people. And then came back on June 12th. This letter is dated June 12th. This is when I typed this letter up and I was handing it out. They called a community meeting by invitation only.
What?
Did y'all hear that?
That's not a community meeting.
Correct. They chose who they invited to the community. It was at Greenwood Cultural Center. Y'all may have seen this. The press, some of the press anyway, they published this letter. And it was published also in the Tulsa World.
What day was that?
June 12th. And then they said in that meeting, oh, we're ready to get input on the last 4 seats. Now they're ready to get community input on who's going to sit on the last 4 seats. And so again, I've tapped out and said no more. I'm not supporting it at all, or anything Partner Tulsa does in my community anymore, because they're an institution that can't be trusted as far as I'm concerned. And so I'm on a campaign right now. This is a support letter that I'm going to organizations, churches. If you look on there, you'll see a list of churches, businesses, and organizations who are signing on to support my position. And I'll read what this letter states. This is to the mayor, to the Kirkpatrick Heights, North Tulsa community. Right, I need to let my community know what's taking place in this, not only in that boundary of the Kirkpatrick Heights, but also throughout the city. I don't trust them to do anything in my district at this point. Also to the Tulsa Development Authority and to TAO, the Tulsa Authority on Economic Opportunity. That's the name of it, right? And by the way, when we formed TAO, it's an authority of the city. Guess who sits as the chair at all times? The mayor. So the organization was created with that caveat, that at all times the mayor would chair that authority. So they can do that when they create their organizations and institutions and realize the need for having the person that has been elected as mayor of this city. But when I said, I wasn't asking the chair, I just said one of the seats needs to go to whoever the elected official is for this district. And they told me, no, that's not a best practice. Okay, who's best practice? That's the question. And so the letter reads, we the undersigned, leaders of the historic Greenwood District and North Tulsa community, stand in full support of our duly elected District 1 City Councilor Vanessa Hall-Harper. Councilor Hall-Harper is sounding the alarm to her district concerning the deliberate actions of Partner Tulsa in the facilitation and creation of the Greenwood Legacy CDC. Just because you slap Greenwood on it, don't make it black.
Amen.
Councilwoman Hall-Harper continues to win her elections by an ever-increasing landslide margin. She is unquestionably the voice of the North Tulsa community on local issues and initiatives. Yet, it is deeply disturbing to us that she has been disrespectfully disregarded by Partner Tulsa concerning the Greenwood Legacy CDC. Partner Tulsa's actions are not only disturbing, but unethical and disingenuous. To exclude her presence and voice and select individuals who have not been elected by the people to sit on the board is quite frankly devious. We do not believe Partner Tulsa to be a trustworthy organization in our community. These divide and conquer tactics on the black community must stop. Therefore, we request that Partner Tulsa and the Greenwood Legacy CDC not be legitimized by the Tulsa Development Authority and the Tulsa Area Authority for Economic Opportunity, TAO, by transferring the 56 acres of publicly owned land. Again, that's that land that came back to TDA after the agreement with UCAD expired. It's 56 acres. That the 56 acres of publicly owned land to the Greenwood Legacy CDC, but rather these sacred lands be transferred to the Greenwood Trust that was established by the duly elected mayor, Monroe Nichols, that was announced on June 1st in commemoration of the 1921 race massacre. We believe the Greenwood Trust will truly place the Greenwood District, North Tulsa, on a road to repair and respect the officials elected by the people. And then again, I'm going around and you see all of the pastors and the churches who have signed on, as well as organizations and business owners. And this is community-wide, because they do work. Most of the work they do is in North Tulsa, because most of the land that was eminent domain and taken from owners is where? In our community. And so most of that work they tend to do in our community. But again, I don't believe that the way, and as I told them, I said it's not what you do, but how you do it. And if you've set up an organization, an institution, I just think this, just because they put Greenwood on it again, right? I think that what they have set up is just going to be a facade and an extension of what urban renewal authorities have already done. We know have already done in our communities. And I'm not going to allow that to take place on my watch and not sound the alarm to my community. So if they do it anyway, because they very well may, right? Because that's how they've always treated our community. But if they do it anyway, at least you'll know, and it's going to be recorded in the news, that Vanessa told y'all about that 20 years ago. I don't want that as part of my legacy, that I stood by and said nothing about something that I clearly see as a harm to our community. An example of that when they were that bothered me when they were doing the work to stand up the CDC. That's a lot of legal work, right? When you open a business or when you start an organization, you oftentimes will need the advice or the work of an attorney to help with those documents, especially when you're talking about community development corporations, trusts, and all that kind of thing. So one of the things that they did is they decided to give that work to one of the largest white law firms that does most of the city's work anyway. I said, why not give that to a small black firm? And give them that opportunity to make that check, right? And gain that experience. You see what I'm saying? Again, it's about being intentional about the small things. So if you can't make that kind of judgment, do you think they're going to actually give the up-and-coming black developers opportunities when it's time to select who's going to develop land? No. Because they can't make it easy.
Well, they're not at the table.
That's another problem. Yeah, they're not at the table. The people that will be standing up and saying, no, we That's just what that is. Ad. That ain't nothing but a group that's giving an opinion. That is, we need to be at the table where votes are taking place
Yeah.
and decisions are being made.
Right.
Because they can do what they want to.
Exactly.
And like I said, they still mad. But I'm gonna be out fighting and protesting the whole way. So at least you will know that this is not going to be done in secret. And so I'm asking for this entity, Phoenix District, to support or to sign on in support of this letter in my position. I'd like to see that land go into the trust. And the trust is a better model anyway. So when you read these letters, I was very intentional about providing these. For one, the second letter is from Representative Ronald Stewart. He was actually at the meeting that was on June 12th and got up and left because he saw clearly that what they were putting over on us was not what we asked for and certainly not what we intended as a community. So he's in support of this position. Greg Robinson, who actually facilitated the community engagement piece for the master plan. And he's actually, he moved to Ohio, where his wife was originally from, when they bought home and had their baby. But he's running a CDC right now. And so please read his letter because it gives a perspective. And he said, yeah, if you're going to have a CDC, then it needs to definitely be owned and controlled by the people, by the community. And this is why he's not in support of this, because the way they've set it up, the way they've structured it, that's not the case. But that is instrumental if you're going to have a functioning and community-owned CDC. And then, of course, the last letter is from Franchelle Abdallah. If you all remember her, she was selected to be the developer of the Evans Fenton site. It was partner Tulsa that sabotaged her efforts from day one to ensure that the city of Tulsa got the fanfare during the centennial commemoration, right? Tulsa is not the Tulsa of 1921. We just selected a black woman to develop a $20 million project. It was all a lie. They got the fanfare, and then as soon as the lights came down, and the shine was not on Tulsa anymore, they took it away from her. And so her letter speaks to that, and she also talks about the benefits, the pros and the cons between a CDC and a trust model. A trust model is what we need. It was, again, partner Tulsa pushing from behind the closed doors for a CDC. A CDC is a weaker tool. A CDC can be manipulated. A trust is a much stronger institution. That land will go in that trust, and it's not going anywhere. That's the difference. And again, read the information on that she provides, and we'll be presenting even more. I'm planning a community meeting myself and Representative Stewart, and we're going to have people there to talk more about that process of why a trust model is preferred. Yes.
On one of the documents you said the mayor's name was on.
Yeah, because he's the chair of CHAOSS.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, don't the mayor have the authority to change this? I mean, we couldn't put enough pressure on the mayor to
Yes.
make him change?
Yes, that's what I'm asking you to do. But he doesn't have sole decision-making authority.
Right.
Because authorities, the TDA, the Tulsa Development Authority, authorities are quasi-governmental. And they work on behalf, they exist on behalf of the municipality, of the government. But once they're implemented and the people are selected, the city has no say on what decisions they make.
Even though he's the mayor?
Yes, because it's the structure of an authority. The structure of an authority. So if you Google and do your research on authorities, it's state laws, and it'll explain that. Now we, the mayor and the city council, confirms who is appointed on those authorities. But once that appointment is made, hands off. And the work that they do is supposedly to the benefit of the municipality. But the law demands that there's separation in the decision making. And it's a vote. That's the difference between when we say ABCs, the authorities, boards, and commissions. See, they're different. And authorities, we can't go and those decisions don't come back to the city council for final vote approval. It rests with those entities.
Thank you first for coming and explaining everything to us. My question is, can you talk more towards a timeline or a structure, or kind of moving forward, what that looks like and what needs to be done?
So I wish I could, but that's another problem. Partner Tulsa doesn't communicate with me anymore because because quite frankly, I'm coming after them for this and other reasons. But, so what would have to happen, is for the 56 acres right now, it would have, TDA has ownership. I talked about that. They own it. They would have to vote to transfer that 56 acres for development into the CDC or the trust. I'm asking that it goes to the trust, not the CDC that was planned all along. Because in the process, all along, they have proven to me that they are not trustworthy and that they are not going to do the right thing. And that's the last 56 acres of contiguous land in North Tulsa.
Exactly.
We can't mess that up.
So what's the timeline of that decision? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I don't
That's what she
know.
said, she didn't know.
Because they know when they're going to put it on the agenda. So what I'm doing is these agendas have to be posted, just like the city council meeting has to be posted. So I'm looking every month. They meet once a month. They meet the fourth Thursday of the month. Those meetings are posted on the agendas have to be posted by law on that Tuesday. So I'm looking every Tuesday to see if they're going to slide it in there. Because I don't put them past them to slide it in there. Huh?
What time is the meeting? The reason why I'm asking is that
Oh, the tail meetings, I don't have that list with. They meet during the day. Yeah.
well, I'm just saying, you
TDA
have to
and
do a
tail, they meet
clarion-
during the day when most people are at work.
Well, I'm asking if you have to do a clarion call to say, hey,
Oh, I am.
to these different people on this list that we
And
would
the
understand in
community to show
advance.
up. That's what my plan is. I had a meeting with the mayor yesterday, and I told him that was one of my concerns because they have stopped communicating with me
Okay.
intentionally. And he said that he promised that he would not let a vote like that happen without my knowledge, well in advance, so that I can make a clarion call and get the community there to say, no, we do not want this. We want these properties to go into the trust that the mayor has established. And the mayor has promised. He announced it when he announced it on June 1st, if you were there, at a packed house at the Greenville Cultural Center. And he said that the community and its leaders will have voice in that trust, on that board. They're called trustees on a trust. But yes, he has promised that.
Councilor,
Yeah, go ahead, Linda, and then I'll come back to you.
if you specifically identified the appointment of the 5 trustees to the CDC as a primary or tipping point issue, would that be a way to describe it?
That was the straw.
It broke the councilor's back.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility of them going back and saying we can take a different approach to determining who's going to serve on the CDC?
That's what they're trying to do now.
So-
But it's taken them a long time to do it. So here's the deal. Like I said, I got the emails and the text messages to prove it. I've been having this conversation with the decision makers for the last at least 2 years. And who are these decision makers?
Yeah.
I've been engaged with Ashley Phillipson, who is now who we sat down and ideated and planned all of this out back when she worked for the mayor. Right now, she's the chair of TDA. She's on TDA, and so she's aware of my concerns, and she's been trying to navigate between myself and Partner Tulsa, saying, look, you all need to do what's right. The council for this district have issues and concerns with how you all are doing things, and you're just doing what you want to do. So she's been trying to mediate that. But they've just said, they showed me, your actions speak louder than words, right? And so they've shown me in no uncertain terms what they think about me and my position. And so I'm at a point where I have to do what I have to do in order. But I said, look here, guys, if we don't get this worked out behind closed doors, I'm going to have to blast you. So I'm on blasting mode right now. And so now they're saying, oh, well, what if we add 2 more seats? And, they're doing all of that. To me, it's a relationship. And if everything you are involved in a relationship, everything is a fight, can you trust that relationship? I just don't trust them right now. And so when Cayenne was there, she left back when GT was still in office. Then they hired her to do consulting work. Never understand what that was. So her contract, to my knowledge, has expired. Then they hired Gary Clark. You may have met him when he was here. He was here for 9 months. The brother that was running Partner Tulsa, y'all remember him? Skinny guy, real sharp guy. He gone.
Why is he gone?
find out, because, you know, scuttlebutt, just like anywhere else, you know, what's the rumor? And they real close-mouthed on it. But I know he gone, he in Omaha. He went up to Omaha.
So it sounds like you're saying that anybody that fights for
Could be.
North Tulsa is,
Could be. I will say this, when he was there, a lot of my communications with him, we was fighting back and forth. And he was trying to balance. I said, look, you're going to have to pick a side. Either you're going to stand with the community of the people, or you ain't going to be here long. First time I met him, I told him, I said, don't move your family here. I'm serious. Don't move, because you probably ain't going to be here much longer. I'm just being honest.
Councilor,
Yes. And he's gone. He's right here.
you may say this earlier, but who actually appointed them?
Appointed who?
The people for their position?
On the CDC?
Yeah, the CDC.
Themselves and Partner Tulsa.
Okay, so you
Partner
said,
Tulsa decided who was going to sit on there.
so Partners of Tulsa was an authority.
No. Partner Tulsa is the nonprofit organization that the city of Tulsa contracts with to conduct our economic
Okay.
development. They answer to TDA, the Tulsa Development Authority, and TAO.
Okay, and Tail is over, and the mayor is over that, right?
The mayor sits on the TAO authority.
Yeah.
So what they wanted to do, this is just more background.
Yeah,
What they wanted to do, they took about 5 or 6 authorities and combined them. Well, they tried to do that with TDA, but guess what? They could not. TDA is an authority, the Urban Renewal Authority. I'm calling it TDA because they're the same thing. But the Urban Renewal Authority is an authority that's created by state law down from HUD. And so you can't combine a TDA with the other authorities that the city created.
No,
TDA is an Urban Renewal Authority.
it's federal.
Yeah, it stems from HUD, go down through state law. Those other authorities that they combined, those were all authorities that were created by the city.
State and city.
Yeah, so it's two different things. And so it's confusing is what it is. It's confusing to the community because they meet in the same place. TDA meets first, no, TAO meets first, and then TDA meets right after them to conduct business as it relates to the land that they have ownership of. It's muddy as water. I hate that we have ever created it.
Well, that answers my question.
And you may have already said this, but how is the Partner Tulsa board created?
They're not a board.
But it's a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit
So it has
organization.
a board of directors as a nonprofit.
I don't think they have a board of directors.
They have to
No, they don't.
as a because
Go-
that's like
Go on to TDA's website
who yeah. Cause I'm like
and
who-
Partner Tulsa, because when you Google both of them, all of it come up together. It's muddy as water. So even though they're separate entities, they are all inextricably linked. And so go and find out. I just asked for the contract that we have, the city of Tulsa has with Partner Tulsa, so I can sit down and read it and get better understanding of it. They bank on there being confusion and a lot of the community not be aware. But they are a nonprofit organization. That much I know. To your point about them being a board and who their board is,
because a nonprofit has to have a board.
I
to run
think
it.
that's TAO.
Do you have?
I think that's TAO.
Have you done an open records request for their
Open
bylaws?
records request. I'm a city councilor. Send me the contract.
Right, but I mean for their bylaws, because that's what kind of governs who runs it, and
Exactly.
if you know who runs it,
Yeah, I have the
it's in
contract. I'll ask for their bylaws, but I ain't doing
Okay.
open records.
Should govern.
yeah,
What'd you
but I
say?
mean that is.
What'd you say?
So like, who has the power to remove those board members? You know, that's what you want to say.
TAO.
And
So
that's
terms
opposite of
they
that,
have.
too.
Once people are appointed, they have a term, and when their term expires,
Yeah.
the mayor has sole discretion really to either continue for them to serve another term
Okay.
or to replace them. So once that recommendation is made by the mayor, then they have to come before the city council to confirm
The TAO board members.
every board, authorities, boards,
Every
and
authority
commissions
So
throughout the city of Tulsa.
Okay.
Correct. Whether it's
So
an
what is
authority,
that
whether it's a
term?
board, and whether it's commission. They sometimes some organizations have staggering terms.
No, I'm talking about what we're talking about right now.
Uh-huh.
So what is the term of, the board that, the Partner Tulsa?
I don't know. I don't know what their terms are. They have terms. I don't know if it's 2 years, 3 years, whatever. To be honest with you, I don't even care.
So there's not a lot of information out there for us to know about what's
Well,
going
that's
on.
intentional.
Yeah.
But yes, they have a term. I just don't know. I want to say 3 years, but don't quote me on that.
So, someone,
because as I said, well, they're only temporary terms. So
No.
if you start that way, then that's how you go. If you control the process in any process, if you control the process, you can control the outcome.
Right. Right.
And that's what they've done. They're trying to control the initial steps in the process so that the community, we stuck at that time. I'm not getting stuck anymore.
Tell them about the part where they said who could be on the board. And they violated their rules where you said that you were on the advisory.
So there was a community-wide group of people that were meeting consistently to engage and give input on the process of how development would take place. I won't say decommissioned, but that group of people, and I want to say it's probably about 20, 25 people in the community that was meeting regularly to do that. They dissolved that committee, and then they stood up an advisory committee. Those people had to apply. They actually did a press release on this. They applied, and they were selected to serve on the advisory. The sole purpose of the advisory committee was to do the work, to meet and do the work to stand up the CDC, to engage with the attorneys, to create the bylaws and the governing documents for the CDC. They told us when we broke as a group, if you serve on the advisory committee, you can't serve on the board. All 5 people who are serving on the board were on the advisory committee. Now they're going to say, well, no, we didn't say that. Yes, you did. Stop lying. I remember. Yes, that is. And most of us, Bill White was in that meeting, Candy Waitley, there were several people in that meeting that remember that. And they was like, yes, that's what you all told us. Well, I think you just misunderstood. No, we didn't misunderstand. That's what you said. And then you turned around and did opposite of that. And now you want to put it on us like, we're not competent enough to understand and see what's going on in front of us. No. And I said from day one, all along, the community, whatever tool, whatever institution is created, the community has to select the leaders,
Right.
the people that are sitting on that board who will be making the decisions.
Right.
And that is not what they did.
Right.
And even if they let the last 4, that's still a scam,
Right.
a bamboozlement on us as a community because you've selected the majority. I guess they think we're too dumb to see through that, but yeah.
We keep
I-
going.
Go ahead. All right, so 2 things. Because someone asked me this, so you're here, so I'm going to mention what they asked me.
Okay.
So what can we do? That's what they asked.
Well,
What can we do?
I don't know if you all have to vote or what you all do, but I want to be able to list your organization as a supporter of this letter that's saying, no, we don't agree with what TEA is doing, what Partner Tulsa is doing in the standing up of the CDC by not having the leaders of this community identified and selected by the community to sit on this board. So that's first. And then secondly, when the time comes for that decision to be made, that vote to take place of where that land goes, be there to stand in the support. So I can turn, Mr. Mayor, you see all these people? They're not in support of this. Because what Partner Tulsa is doing is pushing forth this lie that the community supports what they've done. When the community don't even know.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm having these, it was at the last meeting, I was saying, why I'm having these meetings and why I'm going to have, along with Representative Ron Stewart, a community-wide meeting that we're going to put our points out to come and hear what's going on in front of us.
So your thing is, you want,
But y'all can email the mayor and everything too. Y'all can do all that.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So from what I'm understanding, your thing is that whosoever is the city councilor,
Correct.
because that person
One of the
has,
seats.
right,
Correct.
because that person
Has been
has been voted to be the
and the
representative
voice of the community.
of that area,
Yeah.
should have one seat, one
At
voice,
least.
one seat
At
on
least.
that deal.
And then everyone
To
else
represent.
still be selected by the community.
Okay.
Correct. At a minimum, I wasn't asking to be the chair and all that kind. Just for this, because again, to your point, the people have already selected that person as our leader and our voice. So why
Right.
wouldn't they be a part of economic development decisions
Exactly.
being made in their
Yeah.
district?
Yeah.
They tell me, oh well, that would make it political. What?
Is, sorry.
Is there everything is political, especially this? When you're talking about economic development and the opportunities to develop, oh yeah, that's all politics. And Tulsa is known for the good old white boy system.
There's a book I read called Contested Ground. This is an issue in all kinds of cities.
They do it everywhere to black and brown and poor communities.
Is
And
there,
all I'm saying is, hell no, not on my watch.
did
And if
you,
they do it anyway, it won't be without a fight.
right. Have you found models in other cities that go along with the trust thing?
Yes.
And voting? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because this is not the first time this has happened. So it's like, and then pointed to them like, hey, this is a better way that builds trust in the community.
We did that when we were still in the selection process of a CDC and the board. But every time, Belinda Radney, anybody know her? She's a realtor. That's well versed in well versed in this information. Every time she would raise her hand and say, guys, this land needs to go in a trust, not a CDC, they would shut her down. They would shut her down.
I think that's kind of.
Because they want a weaker model. A CDC can be manipulated. You can still buy and sell. Trust, what goes into that trust stays in that trust. That's why it's called a trust. They didn't want us to have a trust. We ain't stupid.
Yeah. My last question.
Hold on, she was saying something.
Oh, I was just going to make a statement. I think that's kind of, I feel like, I'm going to say me, I feel like that was the reason why Far Franchella, the reason why they tried to, that they navigated her, that away from her. Was
They
because
sabotaged her
Because she kept saying this needs to be
in a trust. Because her model of if it's once it's developed and all the she wanted it to immediately go into a trust, so it would be owned by North Tulsa forever. That was a part of her presentation, which is why the community selected her. And then they made damn sure that she didn't develop a damn thing. But I ain't finished with that either.
Okay. No, that's me. Okay, just looking at it from a legal standpoint, and kind of following his lead on this too. Do they have a definition for what they would call getting the knowledge and information from the people as a part of their, whatever they call it, dialogues in themselves? If they have something like that, it'll be difficult for them to explain how they know anything about a community when they don't have the counselor on that board.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm too black for them.
Well, what I'm saying is, that would be a legal issue from that standpoint, if they got it
That's
right.
why I asked for the contract.
Yeah, okay.
My next, I'm gonna send that contract right on to an attorney. I know what I'm gonna say. If I have to, I'm going down with the fight.
So I know we've been here and it's already 7:17.
Yeah, and hot.
And a little bit
I know this brand new building got AC.
Oh, no, they have been having problems.
Really, everybody has. It's just hot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, just for transparency and because from a board member for the Phoenix Development Council,
Yes.
we having a discussion related to putting the Phoenix Development Council on this list.
Yes.
So I was concerned because to me, regarding the Phoenix Development District, we didn't want to speak for the district itself because we're
two
not
different
the
things.
district, right? We're not the district, right?
Okay.
We're just looking from a standpoint of how do we create a goals and community focus to help the community move along, but we can't speak for the community. Now, I would be willing to sign my name specifically on here and say from Tracy Gibbs, I support this, but I cannot just say from the Phoenix Development Council because I'm not the Phoenix Development Council, district, because the district is the district.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking if there was a board and that a vote would take place. Other organizations have done similarly with the board,
Well,
the
I think
chair.
that's the point. You're not a district, you're a council. And y'all are the council. And if she's asking for support from the council, this is the people that are in here right now.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why we invited Vanessa to come, Councilwoman Vanessa to come tonight. So the community is actually hearing her and expressing it and getting the voice of the community for us.
And so when we have the community meeting, I'm going to be reaching out to everyone, certainly everyone that signs on, to extend, just like pastors, for example. They support But when it's time to have the community meeting and time to go and to the TAO meeting, they'll reach out to all of their parishioners, right? And say, hey, community meeting, y'all need to show up for this because this is important to our community. And so I would ask the same thing with you all. So you saying district-wide, however you communicate with the rest of the residents that's in this district and these boundaries, to do that when the time comes, but also to sign on as the organizing organization to vote if you need to, but sign on to the letter in support.
Okay, so two things. One, three things, whatever number of things. Please make sure that you sign in print. I was a retired teacher, and I had a counselor tell me I have a ticket that can scratch better than you write. So please print so that we can have your information and can get it out to you. So my question now is, since this is the community for this district, is it appropriate to take a vote now? Is it?
I think it's appropriate since we're not just speaking on our own, but what are your thoughts? I think it's appropriate, yes.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking me.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking the question. Okay, so since we are saying that the board can't, but it has to be the community, then I would okay. Ed, should you be doing this? Ask for
Who's the chair?
Who's the chair?
I'm the chair.
So anybody can motion that's on your thing.
Right, I was just letting Tracy finish her thoughts.
Yeah.
Make motion.
I am, but can I let Tracy finish her thoughts?
Okay.
She had several things.
Yes, exactly. Years ago, I was on many calls with Partner Tulsa. One of the things that I said to them over and over again was, we don't have time to play games. Tracy doesn't know how to play games, and Tracy old, she's not interested in learning, okay? And the thing about it is that we were not interested in the illusion of inclusion. What does that mean? That means that they come to you, you get on these Zoom calls, they ask you what you want, making it seem like they're interested in what you're saying, and then they go and do whatever the heck they want to. And they say, oh no, we're different now. We're the good guys now. We know what our past has been, but we've turned the page. Okay? But what's going on right now? Is the page turned or is it the same? All right. So now we're ready to vote.
Okay,
Unless
so
somebody else has something to say.
does anyone else have anything else to say? All right, so what I want to say as the president of the Phoenix Development Council, I'm not the district, that would be from Tracy Chandler's standpoint, is that this is not the vote that we're taking is not a vote from a board perspective. It's a vote from the Phoenix district perspective. I want to be sure to have that in the meeting, in the minutes that we take for this meeting. This is not a board perspective vote. This is a community vote. And so as a board member, I would like to ask from Tracy's perspective as well, since we have two different, Tracy's over the district, I'm over the board. So I would like to go ahead and put out a vote. All those in favor to sign the Phoenix Development District, not the board, the district, on this form, please raise your hand and we will take
Before we do that, the proper way to do a motion is for someone to say, I so move that we support Vanessa's resolution. Then we get a second, and then we ask, are there any further discussions? If there are no further discussions, then we move on for the vote. Don, you got a question?
I want to know exactly what we're voting on. Tell us.
We're voting on whether or not we want to support Vanessa's point of view.
Sign on to this letter.
Sign on to this letter. So what we're voting on is to sign on to the letter.
As in organization.
Yeah, the Phoenix Development Council organization.
She said this.
Let me see.
District.
District.
Yeah, and there's a letter that's by itself. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
This is the.
Okay, so could we have a motion, please?
No, everybody.
Huh?
Is
So, do I have a motion that we support Vanessa's?
I so moved.
All right, could I get a second?
I second.
All right, it has been moved and second that we support Vanessa in her fight to save the last vestiges of the Phoenix, of the Greenwood. All right?
Actually, I believe that the motion should be that you are voting to sign on to
Correct.
this specific letter and the information that's included in this
Right,
letter.
right. When you say support, that means signing on.
Okay.
That's what it's
That's another way of saying it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, do we have any, are you ready for the vote? Any questions? Hearing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposes? The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Thank you. Thank you for your support, and we will be in touch. Make it official when I type it.
Counselor, sorry for the air conditioning. We'll try to
No,
have,
no, I'm
try to have a
fine.
cooler room for you, and just so you know, you always have a place.
I work out here, so I'm.
Okay. You're always welcome here. We appreciate your representation. We appreciate you being a part of our meeting tonight. So we'd like to have you back again.
Absolutely. Let me know.
So it looks as though we have the ability to wrap our meeting in time. I'm going to ask Claudia to come in and say a couple of words, and so we can give her a round of applause for the good food tonight. So if you'll bear with me just a moment while I bring Miss Claudia in.
Hey, Vanessa, Councilor Hall-Harper, can you please announce, like, when you have your meeting, so that they, before, and 1 second, before,
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, I would like for Councilor Hall-Harper to let us know when she has her meeting, and when we can kind of attend your meeting, if you don't mind.
So the town hall, what we're planning for right now, my next scheduled town hall will be September the 8th.
My
Now,
birthday.
really?
The day before.
Yeah, my mom's birthday is in September. But does everybody get my constant contact?
I do, but I don't know if everybody does.
Okay, so when I send it, if you can share it with your group too.
Yes.
But if that right now it's scheduled for September the 8th, and it will be at Rudisill Library starting at 6:30. But if that changes, because I'm trying to get some other people on the agenda to come and speak, and so the time may change or the day may change. If it does change, it'll be the 15th or the 22nd. That's that Monday in September. But for right now, that's when it is.
Okay.
And my town halls are at Rudisill Library.
You can let me know for
Okay,
sure.
I can send it to you in
Yeah,
the.
because I access our email list.
Okay.
So if you get it to me, I'll get it out to the
Great,
folks.
perfect.
Yes.
Do you get my constant contacts?
I think I do, but can I give you this to
I
make sure?
have your card.
You
Gave
do
it
have
to me when
one.
we had breakfast.
Yes, we did.
So I'll make sure you're on there.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, that'd be
Where
great.
did he go?
Okay. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Obviously, great things are happening all throughout Tulsa. We want things to happen here that are going to strengthen our community, that are reflective of the community, that lift us up. So thank you for your participation tonight. We appreciate that greatly. And I want to thank Claudia Green for her. Claudia, would you like to say a few words? This is your opportunity to basically have a little commercial for your business, and everyone tasted your food, and get a plate to go if you haven't gotten one. If you'd like, please.
Please take some with you. I don't want to take anything home. But my name is Claudia Green, and I am Jerk Island Jerk Joint. Same people. We're in transition. We changed the name from Jerk Joint to Jerk Island. So we are in transition. You see it, we're the same people. We do Caribbean cuisine. We love what we do. There's so much. We just decided to bring the jerk bowls today. We've been selling out. We've been down on Deep Greenwood doing that for the last 30 days, and we've been selling out. The people enjoy it, so we enjoy it. Everybody's having fun, and that's what's important to me. So thank you so much. Please take whatever you want, whatever's left there. You're welcome to it. And I have some good news. We signed a contract less than a week ago, and we are looking at Ben Station. And actually, it's actually on Greenwood, as a matter of fact. And so we're excited about that. So look for us. Thank you so much. Jerk Island.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Where is that can you tell us more specifically where that location is?
Greenwood and Archer. We are going to be partnering with Sweet Lisa, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
We're going to do this together. We're going to partner with her and make some big things happen.
So but what location exactly?
I think it's 111 or 100 North
Where's
Greenwood.
Sweet Lisa to?
It's for
Wherever
Sweet
Sweet
Lisa.
Lisa, she's on Archer and Greenwood.
Where the
Greenwood
time
District.
where it used to be.
Yeah.
She
Next
used to be
generation?
yeah.
That's
Wanda
where
J.
she is.
That's
Where
where
Wanda
she
J's used to be. Right there on the corner.
Yeah.
That's where Sweet Lisa's is now.
We're going to be partnership with them. They are there, but we're going in. We're going to partner
Inside of
together.
that same building, that same location.
That's correct.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just want to say that when I did my internship at Tulsa Youth Services, that's where I met Claudia. Wherever I go, I let people know. And guys, please adopt my saying. Whenever you're out talking to people, tell them that we are an organization that is constantly recruiting. We are recruiting brains, boots, and hearts. Brains, people with ideas, boots, people to carry out their ideas, hearts, people who love North Tulsa and justice. Please make that your statement when you go out to talk to people. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. And Claudia has cards out there, so if you want, you heard here first where she's going to be, but if you want to hire her for catering, grab her card. So thank you all again for coming. Thanks for being a part of what we do, and we will see you in September on the 16th. Thank you.